All right, hey, it's Brian and Brian here with Mission43, and today we are introducing a series of Mission43 podcasts that are intended to be educational and inspirational in our continued quest to support Idaho veterans in their transition process. Ultimately, the goal for Mission43 is to help Idaho's veterans lead, learn, and inspire in our Idaho communities. So let's talk a little bit about what this organization is and what its intended outcomes are for the future. So, the Albertsons Foundation are the creators of Mission43. So, Brian, can you give a little history of the Albertsons Family Foundation?
Yeah, so the foundation it's Idaho-based, came from the Albertson family who started the grocery stores, which first one was in downtown Boise. So they started a foundation 52 years ago and is focused mainly on education. And since then, it's expanded. And about 3 years ago, the board of directors started looking at different opportunities to have an impact in the state. And one of the first area they saw was supporting the veteran community. So the board made the decision that they're going to start a veterans initiative, and in 2016 is when that was launched.
Okay, so Mission43 has been at this for about 3 years now and has nearly 3,000 members, but Mission43 still continues to get the questions of what is it?
Yeah.
How does it work?
Yeah.
What's its intended purpose? So
yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about what Mission43 is and
Yeah.
what it's designed to do?
So I think a lot of it comes back to what our experience was when we transitioned from active duty and for you retiring in Idaho. We looked at what is the biggest issue or biggest concern that military families have, and through research and some studies there nationwide and then within Idaho, we landed on employment and education are the top two things that people, typically the post 9/11 generation, is looking for. So what we did is went out and found the best organizations in the country that focused on employment. We landed on Hire Heroes USA, which is based in Georgia. For education, landed on Guild Education, based in Denver, Colorado, and for having a sense of purpose in the community after getting out, landed on Team Rubicon. So what we really did is said, hey, let's go find the best in the country who are doing these things, and as a foundation, we will fund them to come to Idaho, build those programs up, all under the umbrella of Mission43. So our big role is to find those veterans in the state, find those looking for a need, whether it be employment, education, finding a community, and then making sure they get connected with those groups. I think the other big thing we recognized is that military spouses probably served, more than we did, getting to having the opportunity to deploy, always being gone. I think at the end of the day, it's actually quite fun and something pretty thankful to be part of. But military spouses typically were home with the kids. They're managing a career at the same time. So we said everything Mission43 is about is also for military spouses.
So that's truly a differentiator. I mean, there are a
Yeah.
lot of veteran support organizations out there, but one that specifically identifies the spouse as a targeted audience to provide opportunity towards is something that's unique to Mission43.
Yeah.
So there are some others out there doing it and
Yeah.
addressing the spouse, but Mission43 was the first organization that I knew of
Yeah.
that was really targeting the spouses as well.
Yeah.
So would you say this is a kind of a four-way partnership? You mentioned the umbrella. So Mission43 is kind of the umbrella that provides resourcing to these organizations to operate here in Idaho, and it's kind of an ecosystem of sorts.
Yeah, and we relate it to the book Team of Teams, written by Stanley and Crystal. Really, we've got essentially 4 different organizations, 4 different, lack of a better term, like command structures that all come together and say, hey, we're going to work together with the same purpose to support Idaho veterans and military spouses, while realizing we're all kind of independent in our own way. So really it's, really the team concept is the best way to describe it.
And this fourth pillar of support,
Yeah.
if you will, what we call Mission43 Inc. or
Yeah.
43 Inc. That's internal. So how
Yeah.
does that fit into the organization?
What we discovered I don't want to say by accident, but we started to realize there's a sense of community building around Mission 43. It's people who all kind of believe I'm going to do something great after the military. Military service is awesome, but there's something more after that. So there's kind of this like mindset community that grew, and we recognized that, and that's where you stepped in big time. Brian runs the 43 Inc. pillar, but we really had to cultivate that on our own, and I think you could probably talk some more about exactly what we do with 43 Inc. and why it's so important.
Yeah, so a common theme is that when veterans leave the military service, they lose their peer group, their friends, their network. So the idea behind 43 Inc. was to really try to replicate that to a degree. Obviously they're moving on in life, they're getting jobs in different, fields, and they may live in different parts of Idaho, but
Yeah.
they can still feel connected to people that share commonality, that served their country, and that understand where each other came from.
Yeah.
To then project a positive message about this community of veterans,
Yeah.
and how they are major contributors in their own communities, and how they have tremendous potential to continue to make Idaho a better place.
Yeah.
So that was the impetus, and we looked for gaps, to use some entrepreneurial terms.
Yeah.
We looked for gaps in what was being covered for these people, these veterans and their spouses. And we wanted to provide the social connection, but we also found like our entrepreneur program.
Yeah.
Nobody was providing that kind of support, but we kept getting requests for
Yep.
some sort of entrepreneurial opportunity, and we created one. Out of partnership with
Yeah.
people that are experts in teaching this type of material and helping these budding entrepreneurs. And we found that at Boise State in their venture college program. So that's another 43 Inc. opportunity that we present to our Mission 43 members now.
Yeah. And so how about some of the just monthly recurrent events that we do? How did we land on that aspect?
So we do either a happy hour or coffee hour, again, to let people, Mission 43 members, come as they are.
Yeah.
And to connect with people that, again, are of like mind, shared experiences, and to just have a sense of community. We recognize that community is so vital. You had that community in the military, and when you left service, that community, for the most part, is gone. Like, those people either stayed in the service or moved to different parts of the country, and it's really hard in our busy lives and our busy days to stay connected. So a local community of like-minded people is very important.
Yeah.
To your social well-being, your emotional well-being, just feeling that there are people out there that get you, that understand you, know where you are potentially in your transition process because they've been there, or give you the opportunity to mentor and share with others that are now going through that process.
Yeah.
It's kind of where those monthly get-togethers came from.
Yeah. One of the things I like about that too is it's not just an isolated military or military spouse community. Like, when you leave, you are now part of the civilian community. So we've really incorporated a lot of our civilian supporters, civilian business leaders who are coming in there. So there's a networking aspect and really helping you get connected to Boise or North Idaho or wherever that community is. So, and I think that part is equally important.
So, 2016 or late 2015, this opportunity to step into this role that you have now as director of Mission 43 and programs officer
Yeah.
for the Albertsons Family Foundation, that's a unique opportunity and maybe a little daunting at the time. You were flying Apaches in the Guard.
Yep.
You were a former special operations pilot, and then this concept comes about. So what does this mean to you? What's the purpose it provides to you?
So we came from Fort Campbell, Kentucky in 2010. We have no family in Idaho. we came out here and saw this to be a great place to raise a family. So we moved out here. All our families on the East Coast. There was really very few people for us to connect with. When we left Fort Campbell, we had a close community. Everyone from my unit we were always together, and that literally instantly came to a close. So when we started developing Mission 43, I looked at what was missing when we moved here, and that was a tough part. So the community aspect was huge, incorporating something for my wife, she was just as involved. So those were all components. And it's really like our friend group now is really, there's a huge portion of them are from Mission 43. They're great friends of ours now. So it's important to us, the happy hours, my wife and we're always there together. It's a enjoyable thing for us.
So 3 years into it, what do you see as the greatest impacts that this organization has had to date?
That's a pretty easy answer. The most impactful piece is on the employment side, because you have to have meaningful employment, quality employment leave, else you're going to be looking for a new job pretty quickly. So we've had over 500 hires through the work of Hire Heroes USA. We've got a team of 4 people here based in Idaho, supporting Idaho vets. They've had an average starting salary of $50,000. That's solid in Idaho. You can live on that. People are finding good jobs. They're being empowered to find those opportunities in Idaho. So employment, over 500 hires, and at $50,000 starting salaries is what it is.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. When you look at, Idaho doesn't command the highest salaries in the country.
Yep.
So if you're putting up salaries of $50,000 starting out for these veterans leaving the service, it's pretty meaningful in a state like Idaho.
Yeah.
So 2019's upon us, and there's some new things afoot within Mission 43.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the plan for the rest of 2019. What does that look like for Mission 43?
The biggest thing we'll be doing this year is introducing our new leadership program. One of the things we looked at is we've got this great group of people. They've got second careers ahead of them. They're going to be doing great things in Idaho. We get a lot of really solid military or leadership training when we're in the military. Again, that's another thing that comes to a stop. You're not going to the schools anymore. You're not around that idea every day. So we have come up with the Mission 43 leadership program. That's going to kick off in April or May.
May timeframe, yeah.
May. So what it's going to look like is we're going to identify 25 Mission 43 leaders, people who are in the community. They're on school boards. They're mid-level managers throughout Idaho's businesses. People who we can give them a kind of increase their leadership skill set. So we'll do a 2-day seminar bringing in Mike Irwin, founder of Team Red, White, and Blue, Intel officer in SOCOM, solid guy. So we went through Mike's program a couple months ago and are excited to bring that here. So we'll do that, and then that will lead into a second portion.
Yeah, the immersion
Yeah.
portion. So a lot of what Mike talks about is, Lead Yourself First is the title of his first book that was released, a few months ago, about, probably 10 months ago now. But Lead Yourself First, and how important it is to separate yourself from all the noise that surrounds us in our daily lives to make critical decisions. Whether it's work-related, personal-related, you got to separate from the noise. So after Mike's workshop here, his leadership workshop here in Boise, we're going to take members from that workshop, and we're going to take them on a couple-day journey in the backcountry of Idaho, one of the most beautiful places in the country, and allow them to separate themselves from the noise, think about what's most important, set goals, personal goals for themselves, so that they're looking at daylight. They're always looking forward in their lives and what they can do next to better themselves and better their community. So Mike will give them the tools and things to think about, and then we'll give them the environment to exercise some of that.
Yeah, so we'll be putting out more information on that in the coming months. We're going to be selecting 25 incredible individuals that always, that includes military spouses. They are a part of that, so just keep an eye out for that.
And let's talk about expansion plans. So, the J.A. and Catherine Albertson Foundation in Mission 43 is headquartered out of Boise, Idaho, but it's a statewide program. So what's the plan to expand throughout the state?
We did focus in the Boise area, the Treasure Valley area, initially, really kind of proof the concept of what we're doing, and we started to see, hey, we've got a great program here, let's start rolling into different areas of the state. So recently brought on Stephen Tam, who's in North Idaho. He's starting to lead those efforts up there. It's really reaching out to the military community up there, getting that 43 Inc. concept built up there. So we're excited to have Stephen up there. We've got a person on the ground now who's leading those efforts.
So moving up north and having Stephen on the ground is kind of the impetus and proof of concept for ambassadorship, really, people to take the helm in their community or their region to spread this sense of community, this sense of what Mission 43 is about throughout the entire state.
Exactly, and you've been working on bringing the entrepreneurship program up there. I think we've got that pretty much in place, and we'll be able to start running a pilot program. So all these things that we've been able to do in the Treasure Valley, learned from and iterated, are now like that's moving throughout the state.
And we're always looking at potential new programs to start. There's so many great organizations out there that we observe, we watch, we orient, and then it's up to us to make a decision. So I throw in the old OODA loop, from our military days. But, observe, orient, decide, and act. And that's kind of the phase we're in right now.
Yeah.
We're always observing what's happening in Idaho and then orient on things of interest to us that may have some kind of parallel here to Mission 43. And then decide if it's worth an investment or partnership and taking action to better the opportunities for our Mission 43 members.
Absolutely.
Wow, it's amazing. I threw OODA loop into
Yes,
something.
Boyd would be proud.
So our goal with these podcasts is to keep them pretty short, right? We're all busy. Keep them between 20, 25 minutes, something that people can listen to on a car ride or a lunch break or, when they've got a spare 30 minutes in their day. But with that, something we always like to do or promote some of our community members doing great things, continuing to prosper and flourish. Some of those are veteran-owned businesses. We love promoting veteran-owned businesses because those people are risk takers and they're leaders in their own right. And so shout out to our friends at Cryptek Outdoor Group. They were our first 43 Inc. event
A couple years ago.
Yeah, wow. They were our first guests, and they told their story, and what an amazing story and journey that continues today. So we like to shout out to Cryptek Outdoor Group. Obviously we get a lot of support from 1890 Productions. All of our videos that people are seeing on social media are produced by Jade and the team at 1890 Productions. Yep. We love supporting Bear Island Brewing as another one, and the recently formed partnership of it's now not Cafe Mule, but Iron Mule Coffee, and Matty Bishop there at Iron Mule Coffee.
Yeah, the guy who takes the mule in the foothills and serves coffee.
Yeah, what a cool marketing opportunity he's taking advantage of there. But cool companies that we consider good friends of Mission 43 will always take the time to support veteran-owned businesses and just incredible people that are inspirational here in Idaho that come from a veteran background. So shout out again to those companies we mentioned.
Future podcasts.
Yeah, that's right. They will all be future podcasts when we decide to take this thing on the road, which is in the plan to take the Mission 43 podcast on the road. So the last thing we'd like to do is, as always, give a shout out to Name Brand Promotions. So those of you that have been recipients of any of our Mission 43 swag, it's all been designed and produced by the team at Name Brand Promotions. Will continue to be designed and produced by Name Brand Promotions. So again, thank you to the team over there at Name Brand, and we look forward to new cool swag from those guys in the future.
It's coming.
All right. So again, we're going to sign off. thanks for listening, and look forward to future Mission 43 podcasts.
Cool.